Hello, everybody, and welcome along for another very exciting edition of PPR Esports. I am your host for Division 1 and all, as always, Best Teon. Thank you for joining us. We are going to the circuit Paul Ricard tonight for round 8 out of 21 for the Xbox Division 1 in PPR Esports. I hope you all at home, quarantine or not, I hope you're ready for some great racing tonight. I know I am. I have been dying for this all week. Let me get you right into it here. Circuit Paul Ricard. It's 26 laps around. It's located in Le Castellet, France. There's going to be 2 DRS zones, one between turns 7 and 8, as well as one along the pit straight between turns 15 and 1. The lap record is currently held by Sebastian Vettel as a 1 minute 32 flat. 15 turns, 9 to the right, 6 to the left, and a circuit length of 3.6 miles. This track is no joke. Lots of twisty bits in Sector 3, as well as some very brave chicanes through Sector 2. We go now to our standings. Williams is leading us off right now. B-Dunk and Double OT. B-Dunk leading the championship right now, as well as Double OT bringing up the rear in 9th. We got Scuderia Toro Rosso Honda, Saxman, and Brackish also in the top 10. Saxman looking to maybe make some gains today on his championship rival in Chandler Seda, who's holding that coveted position 2 in the championship, and his teammate PPR Nick rounding it out P14, hopefully looking to get on some level pegging with his teammate today. We go now to the 4th place team in the championship of Racing Point, Andre Myrie, Ed. Andre Myrie and Ed both having a very strong season so far, each achieving a podium and holding a top 10 position in the championship. And the McLaren team with Boss Cookie and Run the Jewels. Boss Cookie having a very stellar year so far, already with a win. Run the Jewels looking to find his form, best finish a P8. We go now to Alfa Romeo, Reimer and Loki. Reimer having a better go of it so far, but Loki looking to get back in the mix sooner rather than later. Here's the Mercedes team of EGC and J. Lee Bowens, both holding the run in the championship, both scoring top 10 finishes, but maybe looking to make some time up this race. Red Bull Racing Honda, Delirious and Ramrod, not really finding their pace so far, both been very consistently in the championship, but hope to see more of them tonight. And the bottom of the teams here, we have Scuderia Ferrari, King Kirk, and Caspita, who have had some very stellar qualifying, but maybe haven't found their pace in the race so far. Hope to see King Kirk and Caspita make up for it tonight. Rich Energy Haas, of course, who could forget, looking to make up some points. Sahara and Borthwick only finishing 10th and 11th as a best. Let's hope we see more out of them. This is your Drivers' Championship. As you can see at the top, we've got B-Dunk leading with 132 points. Chandler Seda looking to make some gains there. Only 26 points back, excuse me. Saxman out in front of Ed by about 20 points there, so maybe a closer match there between the 7th, 6th, and 5th place cars. And then leading down the rest of the order, we have Brackish, Double OT, Delirious, Sparky, Loki, and Ramrod. Moving on to the rest of the order, excuse the X's, folks. There was a glitch about putting in double digits, but Nick, King, Kirk, J. Lee Bowens running that out right there. Followed by Caspita, Jules, Sahara, Borthwick, and Cheesy. These are your championship standings for the constructors. Williams is leading right now by a margin of about 35 points. Renault behind them by about 10. And then from there, it's Racing Point, McLaren, Alfa Romeo, Red Bull, Mercedes, Scuderia Ferrari, and bringing out the back, Rich Energy Haas. Thank you all again for joining us. We're going live to the track at Le Castellet. Let's see what we got waiting for us. We've got a couple of cars on outlaps here, including Boss Cookie, Rustable, Ed, and Ginger Horizon. A little bit of lag there. We also got Jay Lee, Saxman, PPR Nick, Andre Myrie, Mr. Reimer, and Brackish. I hope those of you who are with us tonight were also around for the 100% race. I had a blast doing that with PPR Nick, who is on the grid tonight, so keep an eye out for him, my fellow broadcast partner. I wish him well. And best of luck tonight out on the tarmac. I hope the Banana Boat boys can bring it home for Cyril and the rest of the crew at Endstone. But the favorites, as always, are going to be Chandler, B-Dunk, and Boss Cookie. Those are your top 3. I do hope to see a lot of good action out of them tonight as well. And we've got a few cars on flying laps, including what seems to be one of the Alfa Romeos. Will go on board now with, I believe that is Ginger. Horizon 12, who I think it's their first race tonight in this division. Setting a time on those hard tires. Nice that these turns are labeled for us announcers. Gives it really easy through turn 6 there. Already setting a purple sector. The bendy left-hander into the straight. Not want to go too far onto the runoff. Get that DRS wide open. Running down to the chicane. I've heard rumors that for this year's Grand Prix, they're actually interested in making some adjustments to this track to help create better racing. But we will see if we even get to that, depending on quarantine. Oh, little slide of oversteer there, but he's kept it clean. Now the run to the bendy right-hand bit. Can take this flat out, but it looks like he has backed off. Chandler Sadie, your provisional pole sitter, with a 131.0. Behind him is B-Dunk with a 131.6 and Hoopalicious with a 131.9. Hoopalicious, of course, who had a very stellar race during our exhibition match this past Saturday in Melbourne, the 100% race. But always good to see that kind of competition. We're now on board with Boss Cookie, rocking those hard compound tires in the McLaren. Time to beat a 131.1. Little traffic ahead, no matter. Looks like he will power through it regardless. Into the chicane. Braking very late. Back onto the power. Getting a very good exit out of there. Using the Red Bull to his advantage. Getting all the tow he can out of that. And let's see if he will take this next right-hander flat out. Turning in. And yes, he has. He's kept it very flat through there. Taking the inside line to the outside line. Early apex there. Taking it to the out and looking for the next apex there. Double apex turn with a quick right to the left there. He's going to look for it right about now. He's missed it. No matter, though. He's onto the runoff, though. No delete of the lap times quite yet. Let's see how he does into the final part of the sector here. Running very wide, and he has backed off on that lap. Caspina now on his out lap. Looking to Ed as well on his out lap right now. France not really known for much besides the colorful runoff. I wish it wasn't the case, as this, in my opinion, is one of the more fun tracks to drive. Maybe not so much compared to a Spa or a Silverstone, which definitely hold a higher place in my heart, having had some time on this particular video game. But I do look forward to a lot of good racing and a lot of great overtakes down the back straight here. Your starting order so far is Chandler Seda, P1, J. Lee Bowens, the rookie in P2 with a sensational time of 131.1. B-Dunk, P3. Rounding out the rest of the cars to have set a hot lap is Hoopalicious, King Kirk, Saxman, and Boss Cookie. And Ginger Horizon setting a new third fastest time of 131.3, just edging B-Dunk by only 0.3 there. Still with Ed on his out lap here. France, like I said, it was not known for much, but last year's race didn't have too much action in the middle, but at the end there was the overtake by Ricardo, which a lot of folks will remember very well. Cost him a penalty after the fact. There was also the issue of Mercedes winning by a mile. Hopefully we don't see that this year. A little snap of oversteer from Ed running down the straight. Let's see how he does. Let's go on board with it now into turn one. A very awkward left to right hander. Taking a wide line there, turning in. Touch of a lockup on the left, turning in. And he's run very wide on the exit, and he's invalidated his time. We'll find someone else to ride along with here. Hoopalicious on his outlap right now. A lot of cars on the hard compound of tire. Let's take a closer look at what's going on here. Lots of hards, only a few cars really setting the soft tire on at this very moment. Interesting strategies here today. In my experience, France has always been a bit of a one-stopper. You're not really worried about the softer compounds. You can kind of stretch out those medium and medium and hard stripe tires quite a bit, judged based on what I've seen out of the field so far. P12 through P19 yet to set a flying lap at all, in fact. And I hope those of our viewers at home, from wherever you're joining us, I hope you're having a very nice St. Patrick's Day. I know I have myself. I have my green t-shirt on as we speak. I am sipping my adult beverage in the appropriate glass, and I've had some corned beef and some cabbage as well. Leave a comment in the chat if you know a little thing or two about that. But we know Gano on board with Hoopalicious for his flying lap. P5 time to beat is a 131 flat. Into the left-hander on the hard compound tire, braking late, giving it very smooth through, not doing well to run wide. Oh, and he has. That's going to be an invalidated lap time. Turn 2 has cost us yet another life. Looks like we have got Capita Hood joining us for Xbox Division 1 tonight in the Red Bull car. Neither Red Bull car being fronted by Delirious or Ramrod. Always good to see Cap out on the track, who, of course, is one of our PC Division 1 competitors. Go with the Saxman now, who's on his outlap. A lot of these cars going for the hard compound of tire, very curiously. Lots of traffic out on the track right now. Interesting that Jay Lee would set 3 laps on the same compound of tire. And Nick goes through right there on his flying lap, I presume. Can ride on board with him. See how he is doing. Time to beat a 131 flat. Right now sitting at a 59, 1 second as he heads into Sector 3 here for the fast and strange right-hander with the kitchen island in the middle there. Imagine having yourself a picnic out there. Can't imagine the porta potty situation's too great. As we head through Sector 3 now, before he comes up to the finish, taking a shallow line through the last penultimate corner, now through the final corner. On the power early, got the DRS open, and let's see how he does. That's going to be P7 on the medium striped tire for PPR Nick. A very, very solid time of 131.7. 131.7. King Kirk setting a new fastest time, 134. 134, 6 minutes to go in qualifying here. B-Dunk now out on those hard compound of tires, looking to set another time. Jay Lee and Chandler into the pits. The Ferraris would do well to try and get back in the fight here in France. Lots of real estate to be made up, and not a lot of time left. Only 14 races in the season left to go, and there is quite the insurmountable gap to the teams ahead of them. So would love to see the team from Maranello maybe get back on their feet. We've got Chandler, Jay Lee, and B-Dunk all on flying laps. B-Dunk into the pits. Jay Lee on his outlap. Chandler on his outlap. Folks at home, I apologize for any interruption there may have been. OBS was just notifying me that there was a disconnection error of some kind. I hope that you can hear me. And if you can't, blow up the chat. I'll be sure to answer questions as quickly as I can. But now with Chandler getting ready to set a flying lap on those yellow striped tires. To Hey Ace, why don't you do League on Saturdays instead of Mondays? Well, I hate to say, I actually don't have a good answer for that, but if you'd like to tune in for our Saturday race, there is talks that we're looking to do a Bahrain 100% soon enough. Chandler is just going to invalidate his lap there as well, maybe not looking to set a time. on board with B-Dunk now on his outlap. According to Sloan Kirk said he had a plan. We will see. Thank you, IBMac15. We can hear you. Glad to hear. Glad there was no interruption in the broadcast so far. And we're going to go on now with B-Dunk for hopefully a pole lap here on his way around the course. Getting those tires nice and warm. Most of our cars in the pit P12 through P19. Rock Lobster, Rustable, Capita Hood, and Brackish yet to set a time, unfortunately. Time to be a 134 flat, set by King Kirk on the soft compounded tire. But it seems to me most drivers are opting for that yellow stripe tire, looking to have a later stop. Soft tire maybe putting you on a bit of a two-stop strategy. And now, time for the flying lap with the Williams here. Flying into turn 1, braking at the 50 board. Smooth through there, into turn 2, not running too wide. It would seem good. He's kept it clean through there. Getting the power down, up into 8th gear. Shifting down the right, left, and another right there. Keeping it very tidy, not wanting the car to get too out of shape. Looking for the traction. The car likes to get unsettled through 6 and 7. A lot of weight transfer happening. And now into the straight towards turn 8. Get the DRS wide open, car turned all the way up into hot lap and maximum fuel mode. Braking at the 50 board, turning in. Smooth over the curbs, not getting too out of shape. Good exit through there. On the power nice and early, clipping that inside apex. And the long run into the right-hander. That's going to be a purple sector 2 for a B-Dunk. Turning in there for the long right-hander around the kitchen island. Looking for that outside apex, turning in. Now another one just to your left. Let's see if he can find it. Yes, he's just got it. Running a touch wide, not keeping it invalidated, though. He's kept that lap valid. He's not gained any advantage there. Into the final couple of turns here. Penultimate corner. Clean through there. Now a nice right-hander. Smooth into 2nd gear, up to 3rd. 4th, 5th, and power down. DRS open to the start-finish line, and that's going to be a 135. P3 for B-Dunk. 135. Well done to the Williams driver. Very much in the hunt here. And he's on a far better strategy than King Kirk, who was looking to go for pole. But Chandler State has just pipped him with a 130.3. 130.3. A couple more cars in their out laps here, including Saxman. Pardon my French there. Haha, pardon my French. Get it? No. Yeah, so I don't know how all the listeners or viewers at home are doing. But if you're looking for any sort of quarantine or self-isolation tips, I've done some reading today with the CDC.gov here in the U.S., or if you're NHS in England, or perhaps the, I don't know the name in Canada, but wherever you're coming from, I know that we have some things here like wash your hands, avoid contact with other people, keep at least 6 feet of distance between yourself and others. These are all things to help dampen the spread of infection and keep the stress off of our medical systems and hospitals. It's crucial that we all heed the warning and advice of the officials in charge, as well as any doctors who have had a chance to come out and say what needs to be done. For those of you already inside, well, good to hear. There's lots of F1 racing to be had this week. This is only the Tuesday slot with back-to-back races. And it looks to be an Alfa Romeo stopped on the side of the track there. Pardon me. But yes, if you're looking to have any kind of killed time, this would certainly be the time, and I'd encourage everyone to do their best to avoid contact and wash their hands and stay clean, and definitely heed the warnings of those in charge. But with that said, I don't want to talk too much about coronavirus. I want to focus on the racing at hand. Qualifying is over. Saxman hasn't validated his time, very unfortunately, but your starting order so far is King Kirk P1, Chandler Seda P1, Kinkirk P2, and B-Dunk P3. That is your podium paying position so far. Bringing up the rest of the points is Ginger Horizon, Hoopalicious, Boss Cookie, J. Lee Bowens, Andre Myrie, PPR Nick, Mr. Reimer. And in the Choose Your Own Adventure category, we have Ed, Saxman, Caspita, Double OT, Run the Jewels, Rustable, Rock Lobster, Cap, who has not set a time, and Brackish, who has also not set a time. Still waiting on Rock Lobster as well. A couple cars finishing up their laps right now. B-Dunk may be looking to improve upon that 135. He only has to find a couple tenths here in this lap if he wants to overcome his rivals in the long run here. Sensational of Chandler to find an entire tenth over his rival King Kirk with an entire harder compound, and B-Dunk's gonna bail out on that lap. We're gonna take a quick break, folks, but we'll be right back in just a minute. And we're back now live, folks. We are on the grid. Just loading up here for the formation lap. I hope that we have a lot of good racing in store for us this evening. Not quite so much a top battle at the front, but looks like the rest of the field has got plenty to offer. Keep an eye on some close battles in the midfield. My hope would be that the best of the rest crowd starts to find ways past one another, and we don't see so much top to bottom, top heaviness so much. And we're off in the formation lap. Time for the drivers to get those tires nice and warm. Chandler leading us off here. Tricky bits of this track, I would say. If you're looking at the track map right now, it's got a bit of a sawed-off shotgun look to it with the handle at the back and the barrel at the front. Look for the middle of sectors 1 and 2, that twisty bit right now they're going through to get a lot of cars unseated. And the chicane between sectors 2 and 3 to be a hot overtaking opportunity. Any drivers with very large senses of self or worth might want to do a overtake around the outside in sector 3 around turn, I can't count that high. But that would be a very opportune spot, as a lot of drivers don't really guard their outside. Look to take an inside line through there for the kind of a wide left and then right into the bendy bit there at the handle of the sawed-off shotgun, as it were. Your runners Let's take a look at their strategies here. Top 10 runners, only 2 have opted for the soft, Jay Lee and King Kirk. Your Choose Your Own Adventure crowd, we have Double OT, Nick on the hard, Ed on the medium, Brackish, Saxman, and Caspita on the hard, and Run the Jewels, Rustable on the mediums, and then Rock Lobster bringing up the rear on the hard compounded tire. King Kirk could be posing a bit of a threat to B-Dunk there if he decides that he wants to fight. The championship gap is not something easily overcome, but there's nothing better if you're someone like Chandler who's got ground to make up if you've got a car sitting between you and your championship rival. So we'll have to see what the Ferrari driver here decides to do. Forming up on the grid now. Let's just see what happens here from France. And it's lights out, and we're underway here in Le Castellet here at France at Paul Ricard, and all the drivers have got a very clean getaway. Mr. Ryder making a move on Jay Lee Bones, and Hoopalicious jumping. Ginger Horizon, Captain Hood getting a pass on Boss Cookie. Oh, that's a spin, and that's B-Dunk, and he's been spun around. He's been tapped from behind, and it looks like that might have been the Red Bull of Hoopalicious behind him, or perhaps it was Ginger Horizon. It's very hard to say, but we got cars all over the track. Brackish, Caspita falling down the order, as well as Reimer, Jay Lee making a position there as we head into the bottom part of Sector 1. Cars spreading out left and right. Gap to the lead is 8/10 with King Kirk trying to catch Chandler Seda, Ginger Horizon close behind with 5/10. Yellow flags in Sector 2, and that's Rustable down to the back there. Rock Lobster making a move on his teammate, Run the Jewels, staying right where he needs to be. Mr. Reimer getting ahead there as well. Go on board with Hoopalicious now, who's very close on the tail of his teammate, Captain Hood. Cap getting a far better run through the chicane than him. Go on board with Captain Hood now. See how he's doing to catch the podium runners here. I know he's usually a PC fellow, but we'll have to see how he runs on the Xbox tonight. B-Dunk getting a move there on Saxman, going for a bit of a recovery drive now. Boss Cookie getting past Jay Lee getting past Hoopalicious. Hoopalicious falling down the order there. Ooh, looking for a peek up the inside, but looks like Ginger's held him off for just another corner. We'll see how he runs into the final bit of Sector 3 here, letting Ginger go. Ginger into the pits. That's going to release Capita Hood to chase down the rest of the podium-paying positions. Your order after that first lap is Chandler Seda, King Kirk, Capita Hood, Boss Cookie, and Jay Lee. Those are your top 5. Bringing out the rest is Mr. Reimer, Hoopalicious, Andre Myrie, Double OT, and PPR. Nick, Jay Lee getting a move done on Boss Cookie there. Look to the rest of the order. We have Ed, Caspita, Brackish, B-Dunk, Saxman, Run the Jewels, Rock Lobster, Rustable, and Ginger Horizon. A very hectic first lap, but yet no safety car quite yet. So we'll have to see how the rest of this race goes. On board with Reimer now, who's in the middle of a very tasty pack here, being brought out the back by Andre Myrie, trying to get move done here down the inside of the Red Bull, and he's got the move done on Hoopalicious. Can Hoopalicious outbreak him? Don't see him in his rearview mirrors just yet, and that's the Honda-powered car going to pull to the outside. He will relinquish that position as the racing point of Andre Myrie tries to chase down Mr. Reimer. Mr. Reimer hot on the tail of Jay Lee Bones, who is running P5, which would match, I believe, his career best finish ever. Jay Lee's going to defend to the inside, hold off Reimer there. Will Reimer come back at him? Yes, he's got the inside line. Can he hold it? Can he force the Mercedes off here? No, the Mercedes has just stayed just ahead. Can he stay around here through the next left-hander? And the Mercedes has done it. He's kept that silver arrow quite planted while the Sauber of Reimer is looking for a way through, thinking maybe on this next turn. Jay Lee running very deep there, but trying to defend that inside line yet again. Looking for the cutback. Reimer, can he get the power down? We will see. Tasty Train forming up as these two begin to fight. Tucked right in that slipstream We will see what happens. Ferrari versus Mercedes power. Of course, trying to pull to the inside. Nothing really going there. He'll have to follow the Silver Arrow through. Looks like Hoopalicious making a move on Andre Myrie right now. And he's through. Yes, that's correct. And he's just ahead of Double OT and Andre Myrie, excuse me. Myrie falling back through the pack. Double OT looking very fast on those white striped tires. Take a little wide through there, but he's still in the slipstream. Got a much better run. Let's see if he can dive up the inside here with that ERS turned all the way up. Pulls to the inside, but nothing's really going there. He'll have to tuck behind the pink car. Look for the next opportunity through Sector 3. Caspita falling back behind Ed there as well. Capita Hood now up into P2 in front of King Kirk. Go on board now with the Ferrari on those red striped tires. See if he can't make any ground up here. This track is it's death to your front tires here. Lots of long, medium speed corners. That looks like the McLaren of Boss Cookie just giving a bit of a love tap there to the Ferrari. He's trying to get around. Can he get the move done? Big lock up there. That's the Ferrari running all over the map. No idea what's happened there. Perhaps some lag issues. We will have to see through the rest of this race. Rustable, excuse me, being served a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, I assume, or track limits usually in that case. Reimer on the tail of J. Lee Bowens here through Sector 1. J. Lee on those soft compound tires, still struggling to find any pace on the Alfa Romeo. B-Dunk now has gotten himself up to P9. Very stellar recovery drive from the Williams driver. We'll have to see if he can make up the difference in the long run here. J. Lee running very wide again through there. That rear end getting very unsettled. Very poor run. And the Alfa Romeo of Mr. Reimer's got the momentum advantage. J. Lee's going to pull to the inside. No matter, that Ferrari power will get Reimer down the outside. Who brakes later? He turns in. No contact. The Mercedes has conceded the position. Very good sportsmanship there from the Silver Arrow as he now gets chased down King Kirk on those red striped tires. Purple sector from B-Dunk there. Having an excellent recovery drive, running well to the inside there. Not sure what that was about. Perhaps a bit of a shunt that was recovered, but it didn't really have the look to it. I wasn't really sure what happened there. No punctures as of yet. Damage seems to be okay. We'll see how they do into the first sector of the next upcoming lap. Take a look at our position changes. Capita Hood being the big winner so far, up 5, as well as Mr. Reimer up 4. Biggest losers, Ginger Horizon. He is down 12 positions from his starting grid spot of P4. Caspita dropping all the way down to P19, losing, it appears to be 3 positions there from the start. Hoopalicious coming out the back of J. Lee now. Daring move to try and go around the outside there, but it looks to me like J. Lee has held it. Having a look there, nothing really going. J. Lee running very deep, but Hoopalicious has done well to stay right in the slipstream. Pardon me, folks. I'm having myself a adult gummy here in California. J. Lee will run into the pits there. That will release Hoopalicious to try and chase down Reimer as well as J. Lee. Excuse me. J. Lee into the pits, leave him to chase down Reimer and King Kirk. King Kirk doing well to stay on those soft striped tires this deep into the race. Jay Lee losing lots of track position, dropping down to P14, likely fitting the, is he fitting the yellow stripe? Yes, he's fit the yellow stripe tire. B-Dunk now in the back of Hoopalicious here. The field spread starting to take effect. A very big train at the back here. Looks to me like the Williams of Double OT leading Saxman, leading Ed, leading Brackish, leading PPR Nick. We're going to catch up the Banana Boat captain here, PPR Nick, on the hard stripes tire. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That looks to be Is that Rustable going slow in the Haas car? Well, someone going all over the track there. Not sure what that's all about. Back on board with our leader, Chandler, who's kept it clean so far, heading down the pit straight now. He's got that car nice and turned up, and that's going to be a fastest lap from the Renault driver. And that's the Haas of, looks like Rustable all over the track there, having a fight with the Ferrari. Very unlike us to go to the back of the pack for a battle here, but that Haas does not look to be on the pace at all today. Struggling to find any pace. Perhaps some wing damage might be playing a factor. That's going to be a missing end plate, which will affect his cornering, but maybe not his overall performance. Mr. Reimer being the closest battle I can spot in the points-paying positions right now. Trying to chase down King Kirk here in the Ferrari. Both cars matched on power. He's got the DRS open. That ERS is burned all the way off. King Kirk is going to not go defensive. He's going to stay to that outside line. The Alfa Romeo having to look down the inside. Nothing going there into the chicane. Ferrari staying just ahead. But will the Alfa Romeo have a look into the right-hander? We'll have to see who gets a better exit through that turn. So far, the Ferrari staying in front and pulling out a bit of a lead there. We'll see what happens into the right-hander. King Kirk leading Reimer here. Reimer not really having a look, but staying tucked right behind with the Williams of B-Dunk and the Red Bull of Hoopalish having a look. Oh, and that is the Alfa Romeo flying right up the inside, as well as the Williams and the Red Bull. Looks like the Ferrari just wanted to let them through, perhaps knowing that he is on a two-stop strategy, looking to go into the pits after this lap. Very strange he'd want to concede track position like that at a time like this. Reimer now, 4 seconds off P3 Boss Cookie, but B-Dunk looking to get back in the hunt now. DRS wide open. Let's see if we can chase him down on this 8th lap of the French Grand Prix, live from Le Castellet. Those yellow striped tires looking to be the move here in the first stint. We got yellow flags in Sector 3. That looks like the McLaren of Run the Jewels stopped on track, as well as a Haas car going very slowly. Not really sure what that's all about. B-Dunk staying tucked right behind the Alfa here, looking to line up the gearbox with his nose. Reimer looking very slow in the straight, opting for maybe a higher downforce setup. Staying defensive. Williams maybe looking for the cutback. Oh, but he's going to go around the outside. Staying well to still wheel to wheel through the chicane. Doing well not to touch tires there. What an excellent bit of driving from both individuals there. Wow. Very cool stuff here. Into the right-hander. The Williams up the inside as he held it. Taking a lot of curb there. Is that a car in his rearview mirror? Yes, that's the Alfa through the right-hander. Alfa looking for the cutback here. Not quite. He'll have to wait for another turn. That is B-Dunk now up to P4 after a disastrous start to this race. The Williams driver has yet to give up, and I cannot blame him. He is driving a superb race so far. Well done to the driver, B-Dunk. Hoopalicious, on the other hand, looking to make a move on Reimer here. Reimer looking very slow again on the straights. The Red Bull getting the Honda power on. Go for the Daniel Ricciardo move. Oh, the Alfa Romeo giving him a little love. He'll have to tuck behind him and wait for another chance. Very touch and go here in the top 5. Hoopalicious will have to think of another way around the Alfa Romeo driver. Reimer going very slow yet again. Very curious as to why the Alfa's got no pace today. Defending like a madman, or a rabid dog in this case. Reimer not letting the Red Bull find any way around him. Has he gotten through, though? Hoobalicious having a look. Round the outside, I think he's gotten it done. Down the main straight, back straight, excuse me. Hoobalicious is in front, if only by a tenth. He's going to take the inside line there into the chicane. Who will break later? The Alfa Romeo's got the DRS, and he's gotten back in front. Reimer still holding that position right over Hoobalicious. Hoobalicious, though, will have to tuck behind him and wait for another opportunity after Sector 3. Double OT and Ed in a bit of a dogfight right now. Curious to see what's going on here. Racing Point, Mercedes-powered. Williams as well. The pink car staying just in front. He'll tuck behind now. Double OT going to look for a way through. That dirty air is going to be affecting his wings. He'll back off. He'll let Ed run wide. Ed keeping it just tidy enough to keep the Williams behind. Let's see how it goes into the left-hander. Much of the same. Ed running just a touch deep. New fastest lap by Chandler Seda, a 1:34.3. Hoobalicious only 3/10 back on Reimer. Ed 8/10 back on Saxman, and Double OT only 5/10 back. Some close battles at the back of the pack. King Kirk on the back of Jay Lee, and Run the Jewels getting past Rustable there. Rustable bringing up the rear. Both cars with DRS here. Ed tucked in behind Saxman. Double OT behind Ed. He'll have a look up the inside. Nothing really going there, but that Racing Point very early to break, and he has let that Williams just close up the gap in no time. ERS turned all the way up for the Williams. 3-second time penalty for Ed. That will put him in front of, they'll put Double OT in front of Ed for the rest of this race, assuming nothing else changes. Rustable being served a 10-second time penalty for not obeying track limits, which is very easy to do on this course. Hoobalicious is getting the move done on Reimer there. Top 7 runners on identical tire strategies. Very curious to see who opts for the undercut first here in France. Likely going on to the hard compound tire to finish the race. Ginger Horizon getting past PPR Nick there. Go on board with Reimer now, who's looking to chase down the Racing Point of the Red Bull of Hoobalicious. Sorry about the interruption, folks. We had a bit of an issue, but we've gone to a safety car now with a 3-second time penalty being served for someone there. Run the Jewels, Rock Lobster. Rock Lobster going into the rear end of Rustable. A lot of chaos happening in the back of the pack there. Safety car still out. Chandler Seda in first behind the safety car, followed by Capita Hood and Ginger Horizon. Bring up the rest of the positions in the points. We have Boss Cookie, PPR Nick, Andre Myrie, King Kirk, Hoopalicious, Mr. Reimer, and the Saxman. Rest of the positions, we have Ed, ARL Brackish, Double OT, J. Lee Bowens, B. Dunk, Rock Lobster, and Run the Jewels. And the retirements so far of the race are Caspita and Rustable. Like there, excuse me, folks. I've got a word from race control. There was a technical issue with Rustable's car. It seems to me he's had a steering wheel malfunction, and he had to switch over quickly to his controller. And looks to me like it's cost him his race. So our heartfelt sorries and sorrows go out to him, and we can hope that he enjoys the rest of his St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully, having as much fun as we are here. No matter, though, if he wants to watch, he can tune into this stream on the YouTube, and I hope the rest of you at home would love to welcome him there. Safety car still staying out for another lap, it would seem. Now's a good time to talk about this week's Paddock Pass. We had, as always, as I've mentioned in past broadcasts, we always have a chance to talk to the drivers before the race of the week. And this week we asked them a wide range of questions, which I'm having difficulty pulling up for some reason. There we go. We spoke to Kirk, Ginger, B-Dunk, Ed, and Chandler. Asked them a wide variety of questions. A lot of you who are keeping score at home will know we're actually heading into the European part of the calendar, which is a lot of fun. A lot of very classic tracks on there. So we had an opportunity to ask what the drivers are most excited for. And no surprise, they can't wait for Spa, and they can't wait for Silverstone. No surprise there. Both those tracks are taken at about full throttle for over 80% of the time. I can tell you from experience, I love driving those tracks in the game. It feels like a lot of fun. It's a bit like flying an airplane as fast as you can and living right on that limit. And it's a lot of fun. Some other tracks to look forward to in the upcoming races. Next week we have Austria. We have Germany coming up in a few weeks' time. And if you watched F1 last year, you'll know Germany is a very fun track. I know today's St. Patrick's Day. A lot of us are celebrating in different ways. I myself am having an adult beverage or two and sipping some corned beef. Some of our league racers have to go to work, unfortunately. Some will be enjoying some devil's lettuce or jazz cabbage, depending on where you're from. Some will be looking after themselves, if you catch my drift. And some, in fact, our championship runner-up at the moment, Chandler, says he'd like to crucify a rat. So very much in the tradition of St. Patrick, something will have to die in order for something to live. But in this case, it won't be the Catholic Church. It'll be the Church of Formula One. And we've had a lot of things to look for. Definitely everyone wants to improve heading into the second third of the season here. Some drivers may be looking to find pace. Some looking to find qualifying time. Lots to do here. The European calendar is a great opportunity for things to be mixed up. Europe in the summer can sometimes mean rain. Rain means chaos. And when chaos reigns, we can have a lot of fun. So I look forward to it. Safety car still out. Pardon me, folks. Let me take a quick break from commentating. All right, folks, and we are back to the track. Safety car finishing up their rounds here. We're about over halfway through this French Grand Prix. Your order so far is Chandler Seda, followed by Capita Hood, and then finally Ginger Horizon. Those are your podium paying positions. Behind them, we have Boss Cookie, PPR Nick, Andre Myrie, King Kirk, Hoopalicious, Reimer, and Saxman. That will round out the rest of your points paying positions. Behind them is Ed, ARL Brackish, Double OT, Jay Lee, B Dunk, Rock Lobster, and Run the Jewels. Your DNFs of the race are Caspita and Rustable. Rustable, who of course had a technical issue, so we'll hope to see better from him. And we're on the restart now. Chandler getting back underway now, full speed. Seems he's caught his championship rivals sleeping, and that seems to be the racing point of Andre Myrie getting alongside PPR Nick there. Can he get the move done? It seems that he maybe just be fighting. Oh, and Nick's run very wide there. Capita Hood being served a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That will promote Ginger Horizon to P2 should all other things hold steady. Nick looking at the back of this very tasty train of cars here. The 2, 3, 4 position looking very tasty. Boss Cookie trying to get in on the fight here in that McLaren. Tucked in behind the slipstream of Ginger Horizon. Ginger Horizon not going defensive. That McLaren's got a lot of pace in a straight line. Let's see if he'll dive to the inside. Can he? Ginger not looking to make any trouble. Bit of a lockup there on the left, and the McLaren will go right through on the rear of Capita Hood. Capita Hood now with a 3-second time penalty to negotiate. He will want to get out in front of the leader here and start to build a gap. Andre Myrie on the back of PPR Nick yet again through the bend there. Seems the Renault's just stayed ahead. Reimer being served a 3-second time penalty for track limits, it would seem. Nick, of course, fighting to get Renault back in the fight for the constructors and trying to hop back in front of the Toro Rossos, which they'd be able to accomplish today, I believe, if these positions do hold. So all eyes on the Banana Boat crew, but the Racing Point's got a much better run through there on those medium striped tires. Far grippier. And it looks to be he's already passed him. Can he hold it through turn 1 here? That Banana Boat will have to stay down the inside. He was going to try to hold it, but he will back out of that and let the Racing Point through. Oh, and it's going to be tight through there. That's the Red Bull of Hoopalicious looking to get in on the action, trying to pass the Renault. Can Nick lose out on 2 positions in one sector? No, he stayed in front, but that's his. Oh, and he's back alongside now. Oh, they may have touched Martin. They may have touched. And that's the Red Bull taking a lot of curb through the inside there. And behind that Racing Point looking to find their way through. And the Toro Rosso of Saxman looking to get moved. Oh, and that's the Renault. He spun. Nick has spun. He is out of his position. He has dropped down to P14. That will promote a couple cars up and bring out some yellow flags and perhaps a run to the steward's room. Very, very interesting stuff there from all the drivers. Very exciting stuff, and definitely more exciting than the actual French Grand Prix. So let's hope that they keep the rest of this clean. But that was very, very interesting sequence of events there down the back straight. No safety car being brought out, and it looks to be the Mr. Reimer has retired from this race. He is retired in the pits. He will likely stay there for the rest of this race. Chandler Seda is still leading it with Boss Cookie looking to catch up to Capita Hood. Capita Hood, of course, who's looking to pull out a 3-second gap on the McLaren. That Honda power not quite getting him away from the McLaren as fast as he would like. Some yellow flags in Sector 3. Ooh, bit of a lockup there on the front left from Boss Cookie. His teammate, Run the Jewels, in the pits. Swapping onto the hards, will likely go to the end of the race on those tires. Curious he didn't opt for the mediums. Maybe he didn't have a fresh set to go on. Your big winners of the race so far, driver of the day looks to be Saxman, unless anything changes. He's gained 9 positions. He's done well to recover this race well. Same with Capita Hood and Andre Myrie to get into the points. King Kirk really losing out, starting P2 Perhaps a very unfortunate strategy starting out those red stripe softs. Hoopalicious losing out as well. Rock Lobster, though, done well to get off the back row, starting 19th, now up to 15th. Definitely a moral victory for the Haas team if they can hold that position thus far. Saxman up another there on Andre Myrie, seeing that he is on the same kind of tires, though. So a very good battle there in the midfield. We'll go now to Hoopalicious, who's bringing up the rear of this train. Toro Rosso leading the Racing Point, leading the Red Bull. Boss Cookie being served a time penalty there. That will put Ginger Horizon into the jackpot, barring anything else. More importantly, that will put Captain Hood back on level pegging. He won't have to worry about pulling out that gap, regardless of whether or not he does. 3-second gap now. Ooh, the Red Bull looking a little squirrely through there. We'll see how he does down the straight now. Get the VTEC kicked in through the left-hander. Saxman leading Andre, leading Hoopalicious. DRS wide open for both cars. German versus Japanese power. Battle of the Axis. No, I'm kidding. That was 80 years ago. We don't have to make those jokes. B-Dunk getting the move there on J. Lee Bowens. B-Dunk likely going to the end on those yellow striped tires. Ginger Horizon, who has stretched those hards out for quite a long time, will likely have to make a stop sooner or later, maybe hoping for a safety car before he does pull into the pits. Jay Lee very close to the back of B-Dunk there. Oh, and that's a Red Bull going through. Racing Point didn't really put up much of a fight there, perhaps opting just to let his competitor fight it out with the cars in front of him. Chandler Seda with the new fastest lap, 1:33.3 is your time to beat. Ginger now, right on the back of Boss Cookie. Very close battle happening right in front of us. Boss Cookie on the back of Captain Hood, who, of course, both now have identical time penalties to the best of my knowledge. PPR Nick being served a time penalty, speeding in the pit lane, very unfortunate. Though I know a lot of us out there can opt for that kind of mistake to happen, maybe in career mode or otherwise. DRS open now, Captain Hood not going defensive quite yet. Maybe Boss Cookie will try to sell him the dummy. Nope, he'll just have to go to the inside. The Red Bull's going to hold that line through there, keep that inside. Will the McLaren turn in? Oh, they've just avoided contact there, running through the chicane. And the McLaren's gotten through. Boss Cookie now in front of Captain Hood, left to just chase down Chandler Seda and his championship rival, Captain Hood, reeling from that mugging through the chicane. We'll see if that Honda power can kick right back in, but that that ERS is drained, looking a lot like my controller batteries right now. On the hard striped tires, of course. Down to Hoopalicious. Very close to the back of Saxman. A lot of tiny little microcosm battles forming here during the race. Very interesting to see what kind of strategies are playing out here at France. Since it is such a long lap, you can opt for a pit stop. The undercut really is a powerful tool here. B-Dunk being handed a penalty there. That will hurt his race without a doubt. That will actually drop him back to out of the points, which would let Chandler Seda claw his way right back into the championship fight. I never want to hear any excuses about racing being boring, because this championship battle continues to thrive 7 races into the season. And that's the Red Bull. Hoopalicious down the inside as he held it, taking that. Oh, he's going to just cover off that race, that Toro Rosso there. He's got the move done. Power down there. Perhaps a bit of team orders to let the senior team through. It's hard to say, but that looks to be Hoopalicious pulling away from both those Toro Rossos. Free to chase down the Alfa Romeo of Capita Hood. Excuse me, Ginger Horizon, who's on the back of Capita Hood. We got another 3-car battle forming here. Cap trying to get past Boss Cookie. Brackish being served a 3-second time penalty. both of these cars looking to finish the race on those white striped tires. DRS open, looking to the outside. Boss Cookie's going to cover him off into the left-hander. Both cars keeping it very tidy through there. And it looks to me as though there is some rainfall on track with 6 laps to go. Curious to see if anyone opts to pit for inters or perhaps even go onto the soft compound to give them a little more grip through the closing stages of this race. Between you and me, folks, I had this same scenario happen to me in a career mode race, and it did not end well for me on the medium striped tires, as they had no grip because I had been racing on them, and they're really only suited to dry conditions. So we'll have to see how this one plays out. I have to imagine a lot of them are on the phone with Jeff looking for answers. Ginger Horizon, though, certainly hoping that everyone decides to dive in and he can build out enough of a gap for a pit stop. Oh, but that McLaren's going to defend the inside and try and force out Captain Hood off the racing line with that Alfa Romeo of Ginger Horizon close behind. Ginger hoping for something to bounce his way here with this wet weather. We'll have to see what happens. Boss Cookie just getting by Captain Hood there through the final corner. He's now leading both cars, protecting that inside. There's going to be a lot of water on the track. Expect a lot of cars to run wide. Alfa Romeo late on the brakes, but those worn tires will be feeling the hurt of this damp track sooner rather than later. Tucked in right behind. Let's hope nobody gets punted here. Doing well to keep a safe distance from his gearbox. Saxman on the backside of Andre Myrie with Jay Lee Bowens on the backside of King Kirk. Get your minds out of the gutter. You know I didn't mean it that way. Lots of racing happening here today, folks. Let's go now back to the midfield, see what Saxman's up to. Trying to track down Andre Myrie. Myrie taking a wide line through there, cutting through the inside. And that looks to be double OT onto the intermediate tires. A very aggressive strategy, maybe hoping for a lot more water to fall sooner rather than later. We will see, though, in the closing stages here. Perhaps trying to steal a win for the Williams team. We will see. Captain Hood still only 4/10 back, as well as Saxman only 5/10 back on Andre Myrie here. And that's going to be PPR Nick looking to bring up the rear on Zarok Lobster. The song might be a little old for some of you folks at home, but for me, well, that's something my mom taught me about. So take a Google search. It's a good song. Captain Hood now right up on the rear of Boss Cookie and Ginger Horizon. Still tucked right behind on those very worn, hard tires, looking to be in the 40 to 50% range. A very aggressive move to try and go to the end on those. No drivers opting to pit. Our 3 leaders will stay out. No other drivers into the pits. That looks like double OT running very slow now on those intermediate tires, as there's not nearly enough moisture on the track to really justify him. Ooh, bit of a lockup there for the McLaren as he leads this pack of 3. Chandler Seda very grateful for this little battle of teams here as he now gets to sail off into the sunset, barring any drastic changes. Ooh, that Red Bull's right on the transom, gearbox of the orange car. DRS is open now. Not shut off yet. These are still considered dry conditions by any means. McLaren's going to take to the inside. Oh, he's going to brake later. He's going to hold it. Can the Red Bull get the cutback? No, he won't. Short shift there, looking at the traction down. Is there enough moisture on the track to justify a stop for either of these cars? I don't seem to think so. They seem to be very speedy regardless of anything else. Keeping it tidy through there. Getting the power down for Cap. Boss Cookie covering him off. Very, very tasty battle happening here at the front. And Ginger Horizon is nothing more than just a spectator in this bout, this heavyweight bout at the front of the field. Jay Lee very close to the back of King Kirk now, only 3/10. And Ginger Horizon, of course, keeping an eye on the action here, hoping maybe one of these will spin out. Double OT served a time penalty, and that certainly won't help him on those intermediate tires, which have now cost him a position. He was only 20 seconds back, and now he is 40 seconds back. B-Dunk getting a move there on Saxman, hoping to recover any points out of this in his championship fight, while his rival, Chandler Seda, is on pace to score 26 here today in Le Castellet. Saxman into the pits. What will he fit, though? He will fit those soft tires, though, looking pretty fresh. The Red Bull's going to go down the outside here. Can he hold the position? Ooh, the McLaren's broken very late. Looks like he stayed just in front, and the Red Bull will just have to concede it, unfortunately. McLaren's trying to cover him off, give him the squeeze as we run into the right-hander. Cap right behind. Ginger keeping an eye on all the chaos. Let's hope that Alfa Romeo stays just as planned as he would like it to be for the final 3 laps of this race. Only driver to pit for intermediates being Double OT, as the rest of the field opts to stay on their slicks and see this one through. Fantabulous 3-car battle to finish off this race. Ginger Horizon keeping an eye on all the action for us. Far better cameraman than I could ever be, and a far better racer than I could ever be at this stage in the game. Keeping an eye now. Boss Cookie just looking to keep that Red Bull behind. And the rain is now very much falling. These drivers will be feeling that lack of grip on the tarmac here, as those slicks will turn into Teflon as this race goes on. Keep an eye on drivers to be short shifting, trying to avoid any kind of spins or slips otherwise, getting the cars out of shape and breaking their front wing. Oh, and that's going to be a very, very tough battle up there. That looks to cap at a hood being served a 3-second time penalty, or perhaps some contact with the McLaren there. McLaren now will have a 3-second gap to the car behind. Perhaps Cap will want to let the Alfa Romeo through. Nick has retired from the session. Having a look up the inside there, nothing really going. Brackish onto the intermediates now. Some drivers may be feeling the wet more than others. Of course, the tricky thing with driving on a track that hasn't been soaked is that when it's in the intermediate stage of being wet, you have oil, rubber, other particles on there creating slippier surfaces, which can affect your grip ultimately. And while the downforce of these cars give you loads of grip, that mechanical grip you might get through the tires will start to fade away. Chandler Seda opting for the intermediates there with only a lap to go, very curiously. Suppose he'd built up enough of a gap to the midfield and felt that his dry tire grip wasn't really holding. But this 3-car battle now of Boss, Cap, and Ginger has now turned into battle for the win, with Cap right on the back of Boss Cookie and Ginger still running on those hard compound tires. Only one more time around, and he may have pulled off the overcut of the century. We'll have to see about that, though. He's got the DRS. DRS still activated for all of these. Hoopalicious being served a time penalty there. Having a look up the inside, he'll opt for a conservative strategy, I assume. He'll break behind the Red Bull and take it over the inside curb here. Look for the traction. That McLaren running very wide there. Perhaps a corner cut. We'll have to see what happens when that gets taken to the steward's office. Everyone keeping it very clean so far. Cap at a hood right behind Boss Cookie. A very tasty battle for the lead now, with only 1 lap to go and 3 cars and intermediates. Very curious to see if anyone decides to pit. Very curious indeed. Cars looking a lot slower through some of these corners than they were 4 laps ago, as that track is starting to get some moisture. I'd compare it to if any of you at home have ever worked in a kitchen, or maybe those of you who haven't, I can describe it to you. Sometimes if you work in a kitchen a long time, I worked in fast food especially. You get a layer of slippery grease almost over the floor, and even your safety shoes can get slippy. In these cases, your safety shoes being your tires. So very interesting to see that these three have stayed out, and Chandler may have thrown away a win opting for the intermediate tires, while these three look to duke it out at the end. Ginger Horizon looking to just stay in the jackpot with that Red Bull at Capita Hood getting very close. Chandler Sada running wide almost there, while these three look to finish the race as carefully as they can. On board with Ginger Horizon now as we see how the rest of this squares up in the final stages here at Le Castellet. Ooh, Capita Hood looking for the traction there. Careful to the weight transfer for Ginger Horizon. He's done well. Saxman being served a time penalty for multiple warnings. B-Dunk only finishing one place behind his championship rival. Ooh, and into the chicane, Boss Cookie, and they made contact, and the Red Bulls run wide, and the McLarens run wide, and the Alfa Romeo of Ginger Horizon, he's into the lead, into Sector 3. What a move, and he's taken the lead with only a few turns to go. What a strategy this would be if he can pull this off, but that Red Bull of Capita Hood is not going to say goodbye just yet. He is right on the rear of the Alfa Romeo now through Sector 3, and both cars are looking just to claw their way home here on those worn, hard tires. Wow, what a fantastic battle to finish this off here. I never want to hear Francis Boring again, because we have got a great one on our hands today. Ginger Horizon, only 2 corners to go. He's kept it tidy through there. Will Cap send the dive bomb of the century? No, he won't. Ginger's covered him off. Now the run to the finish. Who's got it? Ginger staying just in front by a few. Carly's covering off the inside. No DRS to be shown. Just kidding. He's got it. Ginger Horizon has won the race. Ginger Horizon on the overcut. 26 laps deep on the hards. He has done it. Chandler Sada with a crushing strategy blow, opting for the inters and throwing away what would have been an easy win. Oh, I am out of breath. Happy St. Patrick's Day, folks. How's that for the luck of the Ginger Horizon? Wow. My goodness. B-Dunk being dropped back to 9th. Chandler Sada finishing in 4th. That means B-Dunk will only take home 2 points from this race. Chandler will likely take home 15, closing the gap now to about a 10-point difference for the championship. A great win for Ginger Horizon. What a fantastic way to finish this one off. I'll go through your finishing order now. Ginger Horizon, P1, followed by Capita Hood in P2, and Boss Cookie in P3. Bring up the rest of your points positions is Chandler, Jay Lee, Saxman, Andre, Hoopalicious, B-Dunk, and King Kirk. In the Choose Your Own Adventure category, we have Ed, ARL, and Rock Lobster. Chandler being the only intermediate finisher in the points after pitting, assuming the race would get more wet. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Your did not finishes for this race will be Double OT, Nick, Run the Jewels, Reimer, Caspita, and Rustable. Wow, I catch my breath. That was a fun way to finish this one, folks. I gotta say, lots of very fun battles, lots of very interesting ways to see this one through. We go live now. To the podium. You'll have to excuse the shifting of screens. And congratulations to our man in the Alpha with the incredible overcut of the century. 27 laps deep on hard compound tires, staying tucked behind that race. Capita Hood as well, and Boss Cookie, well done to both of you. Very solid podium. And the Singaporean stands on the top step for the first time this season. So very exciting stuff for us here in PPR. Very exciting stuff if you're a fan of Alfa Romeo. Let's hope that the rest of the season is just as exciting. Running you through our finishing order one more time. We've got Ginger, Cap, Boss Cookie. Those are your podiums. Behind them, Chandler, Jay Lee, Saxman, Andre Myrie, Hoopalicious, B-Dunk, King Kirk, Ed, Brackish, Rock Lobster, Double OT, PPR, Nick, Run the Jewels, Reimer, Caspita, and Rustable. I hope you all at home had a great time with us today. I know I had a great time with you. Please join us next week, and as well as this week. We have racing going on for you all throughout this lockdown situation. I don't know where you are in the world or where you are in the country, but for me, this is the most sports I get to watch, unfortunately. I'm kidding. Of course, it's a good thing. It's going to be fantastic. We've got lots of stuff left to see. We got Mondays, we got Tuesdays, we got Wednesdays, we got Fridays. If you want to come check out the rest of the Xbox divisions, Friday evening, I will be racing in a Division 3 for PPR Esports with the Mercedes team. You can check us out there. There will be other drivers you might recognize there as well. I know that there were some rumors perhaps about getting some interesting people here on the program. But until then, I am your host, as always, Best Teon. And with that, I hope you all out there wash your hands, stay inside, keep contact to 6 feet minimum with other people, and stay classy. Thank you.